Hi, I'm Colonel Kelly Howard, and I'm here today with soldiers from each trimester. From left to right, we have Sam in her first, Crystal in her second, Ashley in her third, and Summer, who's postpartum. None of them have any issues or complications in their pregnancies so far. They also have very limited yoga experience, if at all, so this routine is intended to be very accessible and approachable. The purpose of this class is to provide a forum of mindful movement for pregnant soldiers that helps to enhance strength and mobility, knowing that we need core strength and a toned pelvic floor to birth our babies and recover postpartum. And this class will focus not only on the physical, but also on the mental, emotional, and spiritual. This is a time for your self-care. The care that you give yourselves, you also give your baby. A few things to keep in mind. Safety first. Above all else, listen to your body. You are the expert on you and your baby. Take breaks if needed. Move slowly in and out of the poses. Be gentle with yourselves and modify as you need. Also, everyone's body and pregnancies are different and often different on different days. So here we're going to practice noticing the changes in our bodies without any judgment or comparison. Keep your focus in this practice on the breath, the connection between your mind and body, which can help bring a sense of calm to ourselves and help our babies relax and release tension, and practice being present. We'll begin with some centering and breath awareness. So sitting in a comfortable cross-legged position, maybe with the feet spread, or if you're in your second or third trimesters, perhaps even lying reclined with your feet on the floor and your knees resting together, with a blanket underneath or not, it's up to you. So Crystal and Ashley might be getting comfortable behind me. So just close your eyes here and begin to notice where you're at right now. Perhaps place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, or both hands on the belly to connect with baby, whatever feels right. You can also leave your hands and palms face up on your knees if that feels better. We're just taking a few moments here to pause and notice anything there is to notice within our bodies, in our external environment. Taking a moment here to notice our breath. So in tactical mobility, active recovery, and mindfulness, we want to keep a slow and steady inhale and exhale through the nose, into the low belly. And then I'd invite you to bring the hands to heart center and consider your intention for this practice today. This is basically just the energy that you want to bring into this space, how you want to show up. Maybe it's to practice accepting the changes in your body. Maybe it's to spend some time connecting with baby. Maybe to build strength and work on your mobility to ease some discomfort. It can be anything. And then release your hands down and allow the eyes to slowly open. So beginning with some diaphragmatic breathing, relax your shoulders, your face, your neck, and your jaw. And as you notice your inhale, allow the belly to expand outward. And on each inhale, allow the muscles of the pelvic floor to relax. As you exhale, ribs come together, everything contracts, and the pelvic floor moves up. Inhaling into the lower belly, exhaling, bring it all together. Inhaling, expand, exhaling, contract. Trying to keep the shoulders in the same position throughout. Just focusing on the movement of the breath and the chest and the belly. Using each breath to connect with baby. And if you are reclined, finding your way up to a seated position, a seat that is comfortable for you. And we'll start to move the body. So beginning with some shoulder rolls, bringing the shoulders up to the ears on an inhale, and then exhaling them back and down. Inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, bring them back and down. Once more, inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale them back and down. Good. Now bring the right ear to the right shoulder, feeling a stretch in the side of your neck. Just a long line from your ear to your shoulder, encouraging that area to open. Not forcing, just inviting a softening there. And then bring chin to chest, allowing the back of the neck to relax. And in all of these moments and movements, you can keep the gaze soft or the eyes closed. Allow this focus to really be on you and your baby. Next, bring left ear to left shoulder. Steady inhale. Steady exhale. And chin back to chest once more. And then inhale, lift the chin up. So moving into some seated cat and cows. First, we'll bring the hands to clasp and allow the back to round, pressing through the palms, tucking your tailbone and chin. This is cat pose. On an inhale, lift the arms to the sky and place the hands behind you, arching the upper back, gaze is upward for cow pose. Lifting the sternum, creating space in the belly. Good, and then once more, moving through cat pose, rounding the upper back, reaching the arms out, tucking chin and tailbone. And then inhale, lifting up into cow pose, opening the chest, lifting the heart. Once more, cat pose, rounding, and feeling free to go at your own pace in all of these movements, maybe matching movement with breath. Inhale it up and down. So yours might be a little slower or a little faster than mine. It's all good. And then come back to center. We'll transition into tabletop from here. So bring the legs to one side and make your way onto all fours. Moving slowly, we're not in any rush. Bringing the knees underneath the hips and the hands underneath the shoulders. Spread all 10 fingers. Really feel the connection of your hands with your mat. And taking the same cat and cow movements here, breathe in. And on your exhale, round the back, tuck the tailbone and tuck the chin. Head and neck relax. And on an inhale, come into cow pose, lifting the heart, lifting the chin and chest. But for women in your second and third trimesters, try to keep the lower back neutral. We already have a lot of weight with baby arching the back and pulling us down, so we don't need to be encouraging that here. Rather, just lift the chin and chest and keep the low back neutral. So moving at your own pace, exhaling as you move into cat and inhaling into cow. Now for Sam and Summer, who don't have the weight of their bellies right now, they can really have the full expression of cow if that feels good to them. So no right or wrong way to do this, and we'll actually take this movement into the lateral position. So find stillness here in tabletop and move the hips to the right and turn and gaze out at your right hip. And then just swaying the hips side to side, turn and gaze at the opposite hip. And go at your own pace, just allowing the hips to rock gently side to side. Keeping this steady inhale and exhale. And one more each side. And find a neutral tabletop position. So we'll move from here into either downward facing dog or puppy. So if you're in your first trimester or fourth trimester postpartum, you can walk the hands out in front of you, curl the toes under, and lift the hips up and back for down dog. If you're in your second or third trimester, puppy pose might feel better. In that case, you'll keep your hips over your knees and walk the hands out, allowing the chest to relax down to the floor. Now it might feel good here to bring the forearms in and rest the forehead on the forearms. If you have blocks available to you, you can also use your block here to rest your forehead on that. It's just really whatever feels good. If you are in full downward facing dog, you can allow the knees to be bent if the hamstrings are tight, to allow the tailbone to lift towards the sky, and then press the heels closer to the floor. The head and neck is nice and relaxed. Good. And from down dog, come onto the knees. And my ladies in puppy pose, go ahead and come up on your hands. And then everyone walk back to the backs of your mats, and we'll come to a forward fold. So coming to a forward fold in a way that feels safe for your own balance, maybe spreading the feet a little further apart to give you some stability. And if it feels good, perhaps hold either elbow, coming into a ragdoll. If folding forward this much does not feel good, you can use your blocks in front of you to keep the heart elevated, or just not bend down as much. Just allowing gravity here to create a little space in our spine. Rocking side to side if that feels good. You have full permission to make this class your own. If you took a hold of your elbows, go ahead and release them. And with the rounded spine, one vertebra at a time, come up to stand. Head and neck come last. And once you're at the top, bring the shoulders up to the ears, and release them back and down. All right, let's walk to the front of our mats here, moving into our standing sequence. So first pose is mountain pose. Have the feet underneath your hips. Again, you can take a wider stance if that feels better for you, more stable, considering your changes in your center of gravity now. From mountain pose, big thing to keep in mind here is that our tailbone, like we talked about before in the cat and cows, is naturally arching. Our stomach is coming forward and we're arching our back. And so what we want to do here as much as possible is to round that tailbone. And I'll turn to the side just so you can see. So what tucking the tailbone means is pulling it under. So taking what might be a very natural curve in the low back and just encouraging some length in that tailbone down. So with the tailbone down, we can lift the sternum again, creating space in the front body. Shoulders relax down, and tuck the chin just slightly so that the back of the neck is long. Steady inhales here, steady exhales. Maybe lift and spread all 10 toes and place them back down. And shift your weight a little more into your feet, into the heels of your feet. So the reason for this is, especially in second and third trimesters, our arches of our feet can collapse in. And what we want to do here is try to redistribute the weight of our feet. So shifting the weight back into the heels will help get the weight a little more onto the outer edges of the foot. All right, so from mountain pose, we'll step back into a warrior two position. So bringing the hands to the hips, left foot will step back to the back of your mat, and you choose the distance. So if you have a little more energy and stability and balance, maybe choosing a wider stance. If you are not feeling as good in the low body right now, maybe shorten that stance up. So the front heel is roughly bisecting the back foot, and the arms are reaching in opposite directions parallel to the ground. The shoulders relax away from the ears. The gaze is at the front middle finger. So steady gaze here, steady breath. Inhaling into the low belly. Exhaling, pulling in. Inhaling and exhaling. So flipping the front palm up, reach the right arm up and back for peaceful warrior, using the left hand as a kickstand on your legs. And you choose how much you want to bend that front knee. So if you're looking to activate the quads, the knee will be over the ankle. If not, you can back off a little bit and give that muscle a break. But the whole point here is to get a good stretch from the hip crease all the way through the fingertips. Me gazing up if that's all right with the neck. Keeping the steady inhale, steady exhale through the nose. Giving the pose time to do its job to create the openings. Next inhale, find your way back to warrior two, just for a breath. And then place right elbow on knee for extended side angle. You can either reach the left arm to the sky, you can keep the left hand on your hip if that feels better, or you can reach the left arm up and over your ear with the pinky side down. Just seeing how much space we can create in the left side body. Maybe gazing up at the hand if it's all right with the neck. If not, just gaze down. There's no benefit to going further in any of these poses than we need to go. Good. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. And then as you exhale, bring both hands down to the inside of your front foot. Come up on the back toes and release down on the back knee. So if you have blocks available, it can be very helpful to bring those to the inside of the front foot, to have the forearms resting on something, bringing the floor a little bit closer. You might find that you can naturally come onto the forearms like Summer here. If you don't have blocks, you can also use a box or books. Those can be really helpful makeshift props. This pose here, this is lizard lunge, and lizard lunge is really helpful in working the psoas muscle. So the psoas is the connection between your lower back, your lumbar spine, and your pelvis. And it's really important, especially in the third trimester of pregnancy. Stretching the psoas allows the baby to descend into the birth canal, and often just provides some general relief for back pain that you might be having. So just breathing calmly in and out of the nose into your right hip. And then very slowly coming up onto your hands. and framing your front foot with both hands. We'll make our way back to half splits or runner's lunge. This is also a place where blocks can be very helpful at your sides. But we'll bring the hips back over the knee and bring the toes of the right foot up to the sky here. So in this pose, we're stretching our hamstring, and we also want to energetically be pulling the right heel back and the left knee forward. So right heel energetically pulling back, left knee forward. You can fold forward more here if that feels good, or stay upright. Again, all have different bodies, all different stages of pregnancy. Find the sweet spot for you. Good. And then release the right foot down and shift your weight forward. And begin to walk the hands towards the long edge of your mat. So the feet will come parallel to each other. And my ladies in second and third trimester may want to bring one of their blocks with them or both blocks with them. But this is a wide-legged forward fold, and many ways to do this pose. You can have the hands on the ground and bring the crown of the head closer to the ground. You can have hands on the outer legs. If you're in second and third trimester, especially if you have any kind of heartburn, maybe bring the blocks underneath your hands to help keep the chest and head more in alignment with your hips. Allow the gaze to be down, back of the neck is long. And see if you can shift your weight a little bit, again, more into the heels. Steady inhale, steady exhale. Good. All right, we're going to release the blocks if you have them. Turn the right toes towards the front of your mat. We'll move into triangle pose here. So you might want to bring a block with you if the floor seems very far away. If you don't have a block, you can place your right hand anywhere along the right shin and bring the left hand to left hip. So right hand on a block or on your shin. Come up as high as you need to feel like you have space in not only the left side body, but also the right side body. And either stay here, or if you'd like to challenge your balance a little more, you can lift the left arm to the sky. Maybe turning and gazing up at your thumb if it's all right with your neck. Steady inhaling, steady exhaling. So breathing calmly and steadily helps to send the calming signals to the brain, creates a calming environment for your baby. Good. Next, inhale, come to warrior two. So bending the front knee, arms parallel to the ground, gazing forward. And then step to the top of your mat. So doing a little diversion before we take the other side. We'll come into chair pose here. So lowering the hips, reaching the arms up to the sky. So you choose how deeply you want to squat in chair pose. You may just bend the knees a little bit, especially if they're bothering you. If you are in a fuller squat, a fuller chair pose, and you'd like to move into a twist, you can place the right arm down on the inside of the right leg, right knee, and reach the left arm up to the sky, gazing up. So it's just a gentle twist here. If it feels better to keep the right hand on your belly, on baby, you're welcome to do that too. If you took the twist, come back to center, and we'll do the other side. Placing left arm down on the inside of left leg, reaching right arm to the sky. Trying to keep our knees and hips level here. Notice if the right knee and hip start to pull back. See if you can keep them even with the left side. Good. Come back to center. And then stand. All right, we'll take the other side next. So stepping back with the right foot this time, find your warrior two. So same sequence, just on the other side. Even our bodies out. Reach the left arm in front, right arm behind. And again, you choose how much you want to have this front knee bent, how much you want to be working your quadricep muscle. Steady gaze, steady breath, and even here, noticing the tailbone, and if you can, encourage it down towards the floor to lengthen that low back. From warrior two, we'll find our way into peaceful warrior. Left palm flips up, right hand becomes the kickstand on your right leg. Reach the left arm up and around. So stretch from the left hip crease through the left fingertips. If it feels good to not bend the front knee as much, back off of it a little bit. And allow the breath to be your guide here. If you notice in any of these poses, especially the standing ones, if the breath becomes choppy, that's your sign to back off. Good. Inhale back to warrior two for a breath. And place the left elbow on knee. Reach the right arm up to the sky, or you can keep it on the right hip. Or reach right arm up and over. Bring the pinky side down. Good. And feel a stretch from the outer right foot through the right fingertips. Inhaling into the low belly. Exhaling. Steady inhale. Steady exhale. Next inhale brings you back to warrior two. And cartwheel the hands down to the inside of your front foot. So coming up on the back toes and then releasing the back knee down, releasing the back toes, moving into lizard lunge on this side. So again, find the spot that's right for you here. Maybe it's coming down on one or both forearms. Maybe it's using a block so that the floor isn't as far away. Just breathing into our left hip and stretching our psoas muscle on this side. So as we stretch and release here, remember the power of letting go and surrendering to the flow of life. In all of these poses, we aren't forcing anything. We are just inviting and seeing what happens and surrendering to the end result while breathing steadily and calmly. You might also notice that this side is different than your other side. Our bodies are often not symmetrical, and we may need to back off a little more here, or maybe able to go deeper than we were on the right. If you came down onto the forearms, make your way up onto your hands, and we'll shift the hips back for runner's lunge or half splits. So with the hips over the back knee, bring the left toes to the sky. If you have blocks or boxes or books, this can be a great way to allow the chest to lift while you're doing this. You're also free to fold forward over the left leg if that feels better. Just calmly and steadily inhaling and exhaling. With each stretch, you're creating space and preparing your body for the journey of motherhood. Good. Slowly walk or release the blocks if you took them, and walk your way up to the front. Curl the back toes under and step forward with the back foot, or if it feels better, you can also just walk to the back of the mat, whichever feels safer for you at this time. And then with a rounded spine, come up to stand, bringing the shoulders up and back and down. All right, we're going to come onto the floor now. So bringing the hands down, bending the knees. Come onto the knees. We're going to stay up on our knees for this first one for my women in the first trimester and fourth trimester. Second and third trimester women, you will come down onto your hips. So we're moving into a camel pose for first and fourth, or a bridge pose for our second and third. So I'll demo first the bridge pose here. If you know how to go into camel, you're welcome to begin doing that. But for bridge, we'll support our body weight with our hands as we come all the way down to the ground. And make sure that you have a block with you. So once you're down on the ground, your feet are hips width apart or further if you need to for your pelvis right now. And you'll press the feet down into the mat and lift the hips. Allow the block to support your sacrum, to support the low back. That's the kind of flat area above your glutes. And notice that there's 3 different heights for your block. So you can be on the lowest height, or maybe coming up to the medium height or the highest, if that feels best for you. Tuck the shoulder blades under and just allow yourself to be supported by the block. Now for my women in camel pose, we're going to come up onto our knees, and same movement, just a more active version. So we'll place our hands on the low back with the fingers up. So let me show you this from the side. Hands on the low back, fingers up, and start to gently press the hips forward. If you plan on going back further, you can tuck the toes under so that the heels are closer to you. But the goal is to lift the sternum up to the sky. Allow the back to bend. If it feels good, you can bring one or both hands to your heels, but only do so if you can keep a steady inhale and exhale throughout. Just creating space in the front body. And we will come out of this pose the same way that we came in. So hands to lower back if you brought them down, and then lift the sternum up as you are coming out of the pose. And then my ladies who are on your blocks, you can remove the block from underneath your hips. And bring your knees to the side and come to seated. So we'll all meet in a cross-legged position, whatever that means for you. So you might actually have your ankles and shins crossed. You might have the front foot out a little bit. If not, neither of these feels good, you can also extend your legs out straight or recline. But what we're going to do here first is bound angle pose. So bringing the soles of the feet together. If you have a block here, it can be helpful to place that in between your feet and actively press your feet into the block, but it's not needed. So in this bound angle pose, or butterfly pose as it's sometimes called, we're going to do some pelvic floor work. These are also called Kegels. And on an inhale, we'll breathe deep into our lungs as we do, and feel the pelvic floor relax and soften. And then on the exhale, the contraction will pull that pelvic floor up, squeezing the muscles. And then repeat. Inhale, releasing and softening. Exhale, pulling up and in. Inhale, release and softening. Exhaling, releasing up and in. So what we're doing here in so much of this work, please continue on your own with the Kegels, inhaling and exhaling. This work we're doing is really to help our transverse abdominis. Delivering a baby requires a lot of abdominal activation, specifically the transverse abdominis, the muscles that sheath your torso, kind of like a corset. The strength of the abdominal muscles creates pressure, along with uterine contractions to help the baby descend into the birth canal. So from there, the pelvic floor muscles must expand and get out of the way to allow the baby to pass through the birth canal. So when we practice Kegels, the inhale to relax the pelvic floor and the exhale to contract, we're also preparing for labor. As a fun fact, if your baby is born vaginally, we're typically instructed to take a deep breath before pushing, which is a contraction. So we're taking a deep breath, inhale and relaxing, and then exhaling, contracting. So the Kegels are helping us learn to activate the muscle when we need to, and then relax the muscle when we need to. And this is helpful not only in preparing for labor, but also for our postpartum recovery to help our pelvic floor come back together after birth. All right, from here, we will transition into rainbow pose. Coming back to another set of Kegels in just a moment. Extend the right leg out straight and bring the left foot anywhere along the inside of the right leg. So it might be close in, if you're more flexible, it might be closer to the top of the knee, if less so. From here, we'll place the left hand behind us for support and really press that left hand down into the ground. The right arm will reach out to the right foot, and then on an inhale, press left hand and right foot down into the mat. Lift your hips, reach the right arm up and over. Press the right toes towards the floor. So what we're doing here is a back bend and a side stretch all at the same time. Steady inhales, steady exhales. Feel the softening of your body even as you stretch. Good. Release the hips down, release the hand down. And bring your right foot back to center again. So we'll do another round of our pelvic floor exercises, our Kegels, on this side. So once more, inhaling, releasing the pelvic floor. Exhaling, drawing it up and in. Inhaling, relax. Exhaling, engage and contract. So it's just as important to be able to release the muscles as it is to contract them. So consciously pulling in and up, and then consciously relaxing down. Using the breath to help you here. Everything is controlled not only by our lungs and our pelvic floor, but also our diaphragm. So when we're inhaling, the diaphragm is going down and getting out of the way, making room for the lungs. And then as we exhale, the diaphragm comes up and domes, allowing the pelvic floor to lift with it as the lungs and ribs come in. So at your own pace, engaging the pelvic floor and releasing it. These are great to do not only in a tactical mobility, active recovery, and mindfulness class, but really at any point during the day, if you're at a stoplight or watching TV. Good. Take one more on your own. And then we'll do rainbow on the other side. So left leg extends out this time. Right foot in to left thigh. Place the right hand behind you for support, like a kickstand, and reach the left arm out in front. On an inhale, press the right hand and left foot down and lift the hips, bringing the left arm up and over like a rainbow. Side bend, back bend. Pressing the left toes towards the floor if that's available to you and it feels good. Still inhaling into the low belly. Exhaling. Good. Release the hips down, release the hand. And we'll bring the feet back into a cross-legged position, like we did at the beginning of the floor exercises. So whatever cross-legged means to you, make it comfortable. And inhale, bring both arms to the sky. And as you exhale, bring the hands to shoulders and twist to the right. So a gentle twist to the right. It might feel good to place left hand on your belly, on baby. Keeping our hands on our shoulders helps ensure that we don't kind of crank too far. Use our hands and arms to deepen the twist more than is helpful. Inhaling, expanding, exhaling, contracting. Next, inhale, bring both arms to the sky, reach up. And as you exhale, twist to the left. So again, placing right hand on belly if that feels good. If not, just keep the right hand on right shoulder. So on the inhales, the crown of the head reaches closer to the ceiling, releasing how much space we can create between each vertebra when we twist. Good. Inhale, reach both arms back to the sky. And exhale, release the hands down. We'll move from here into a seated pigeon pose, or a seated figure 4. Place the hands behind you and place the feet on the floor. So hands behind you, feet on the floor. And we'll take the right foot first and move it above the left knee. So flexing the right foot, placing it above the left knee. You may need to walk the hands back or walk the left foot forward to create some space for your baby. If you'd like to intensify this, you can walk the hands up, walk the left foot closer. Either way, we're energetically kind of imagining the right knee coming in line with the ankle. Just getting our hips from a different angle here. So in each of these movements, just honoring the connection between your body and your baby. Knowing that all this care and nurturing that you're doing for yourself is also benefiting your baby. Good. Now to release out, you may want to walk the hands back a little bit, foot forward, so that you can bring your foot back down to the floor. And then we'll take the other side. So left ankle this time above right knee. Keep the foot flexed to support the knee. And choosing where the best position is on this side. So you might find that you need a little more intensity on this side. You might find that you need to back off a little bit and create a little more space and allow this to be a little more gentle. And knowing that whatever choice we make today, it might be a different choice tomorrow because our body is constantly changing. Steady inhales, steady exhales. All right, create some space for yourself. Release the left foot down to the mat. And then holding on to your hamstrings for support, begin to lower yourself down onto your backs. And once you're on your back, roll to the right side. With the right knee bent, your head resting on your arm. Extend the left leg straight, pressing through either the heel or the ball of the foot, whatever feels best. And then extend the left arm straight. So this is a side lying position, a supine side stretch. And you can either keep this pose active, pressing through the heel or the ball of the foot, pulling through the fingertips, or it can be more passive, just releasing the arm down and just enjoying a passive opening in the left side body. Keeping the breath calm and steady. Bringing the mind back to the breath. The thoughts start to wander. And then placing the left hand down beside your chest for support. Make your way onto your backs. And then roll to the left side. So same pose on the opposite side. So head resting on upper arm, left knee bent, right leg is straight. Extend the right arm up above, creating a long line from the right hip, the right heels through the fingertips. Alternately, you can press through the ball of the foot, whatever feels best for you. Or you might choose to have a more passive side stretch on this side, just allowing the arm and leg to relax down after you've created some space there. Allow the face to relax, the jaw to relax. And then transitioning from the supine side stretch to our final relaxation, which we'll also do on the left side if we are in our second or third trimesters. Maybe bringing both knees in to the chest in more of a fetal position or seed pose with the right arm on the ground for support. If you're in your first trimester or a postpartum, it might still feel all right to be on your backs. So if that's the case, it's stretching the legs out in front, allowing the feet to flop open, tucking the shoulder blades under and allowing the palms to lie open at your sides. In this part of the practice, this is the most important pose of the entire class. This is the time for your body to acclimate to all the space that you created, the openings that you invited in. It's really the time for the parasympathetic side of the nervous system to take over. We'll be here for several minutes. But while we're here, I'll be guiding you through a body scan to make use of our time. So you can either listen to my prompts or you can just lie quietly with your own thoughts. We'll begin by releasing any tension in the shoulders, the neck, or the jaw. Sometimes that creeps up on us subconsciously. As you inhale, drawing the attention to the back of the throat, to the shoulders. Maybe placing one of your hands or both on baby if that feels right to you. And just taking a moment here to connect with the life growing inside you or the life that you just created. Just really honoring and welcoming your belly's ability to expand and provide a warm and safe place for your baby to grow. You can keep your hands or one hand on the belly or shift them. But we'll shift our mental attention now to our upper thighs and our legs and our feet. Really celebrating their strength and feeling gratitude for their ability to hold us up and to move us around and get us where we need to go. Our lower bodies need a lot of love too during pregnancy. Just lying quietly here and giving thanks to your whole body for being exactly the right size and shape to bring your baby into this world. Allowing the breath to be whatever the breath is here. Our bodies are doing so much hard work, growing a baby and preparing for childbirth and recovering from childbirth. This is the time to just relax and be and invite stillness. At home, you're welcome to stay here as long as you like. For this video, we are going to move on. But first, rolling to your left side if you aren't there already. Rolling to your left side and spending a moment in seed pose. The seed pose or fetal position. This is the pose of new beginnings. And I would invite you here to consider if there's anything that you would like to let go of as you start this new beginning. Maybe it is a doubt or a worry, a judgment, a criticism. Just anything that is no longer serving you, that's no longer helpful. Just give it back to the earth. Imagine yourself releasing it. And when you've done so, press your way up to a comfortable seat with the eyes closed and the spine tall. Bringing the hands to heart center here. Thank yourself for spending this time to strengthen the mind, the body, the spirit, the connection with baby. Maybe feeling some gratitude for being able to do an active and strong practice that's also gentle and nurturing. Doing this regularly will have so many benefits throughout the pregnancy, helping to create a smoother delivery and recovery. And I would invite you to carry this peace and calm that you've created off the mat here into the rest of the world. And as we end, just remember that your body is a powerful vessel, nurturing and protecting the life within it. Embrace the strength, knowing that the strength isn't just in your muscles, it's in the courage and resilience that you carry with you. Allowing the eyes to open and releasing the palms down. Thank you.